What's up, y'all? How you doing? This is your boy Youre. It is the 22nd of November, 2014. How is each and everybody doing? I know you guys are like, man, what is going on? I know I look a little rough. I just worked very long yesterday, and my body is saying, you need to lay back down. But I've gotten my 8 hours of sleep, and I'm good. I'm good. So how's everybody doing? And I hope that your week was positive, sidestep the negative, and always love yourself. So, we're a couple of days away, well, a little bit under a week, and it'll be Thanksgiving. It'll be Thanksgiving. The moment to sit down and give thanks, not only for where you are, but your life experiences in general. You have so much to give thanks for, y'all. You know, we really, really do. And a lot of times, it don't seem that way, because sometimes you're put in situations where you might think that you're by yourself. You got your back up against the wall, and nobody has your best interest, or more worse, no one. People think that you're the one that's crazy because you decided to invest in yourself. Let me tell you something. For those people that actually think that you've been put on this planet to be by yourself, number one, you need to take that mindset out. Throw that away. Throw that away. Now, I know somebody's saying right now, well, Youre, I hear you. You always want to throw positivity, and you're so optimistic, and you want to spin every bad situation into something good. Well, yeah, I do. I do. That's who I am. Because your life is precious. So, what's wrong with that? What I'm trying to convey to each and every one of you is, number one, you've got one life. One. And you dictate by your decisions how long is that's going to play out. That is your legacy. But if you don't have a connection with yourself emotionally, not alone spiritually, it's going to impact your destiny and what is attracted to you. And my thing is this: do you actually believe your life was built off of suffrage? Do you actually believe that you got to take the table scraps of life? That's all it's going to be, and that's the best you're going to get, and you got to more or less settle? No, you don't. No, you don't. But guess what? For my young folks that are 25 and below, I keep trying to convey this, and I hope that you embrace this. The mindset that you have right now is going to change. The person that you are now is not going to be the person that you're going to be 30 years old. The person that is 30 years old is not going to be the person you are when you're 40. Because your life is meant to evolve. So now, with that being said, think about all the connections and people that you've met. Yeah, think about them. You've met so many people in your life thus far, you can't even remember some of the people that you've interacted with. But what's so ironic is you can divide those people into two groups. Those that have empowered you and learned from, and those who have hurt you. Unfortunately, we tend to hold on to the negative experiences instead of learning from them and fortifying the good ones. We do this because it's constantly played out in our reality. You see it on TV all the time. Why you think we have soap operas? Why you think we've got TV shows that project a certain tone? It's to fortify the way you think. Come on now. Come on. The way you think, the way you spend your money, the way you interact in society, it's all based off of your perception of the world, how you see your environment, and the like-mindedness of the attraction to those people in it. That's why you hear the proverbial saying, birds of a feather flock together. Why would they not flock together if they didn't have something in common? So just make sure that the things you have in common helps you grow. I know somebody right now is like, Joe, I don't want to hear that. Because see, at the end of the day, I go home and I'm by myself. I go home to a person that I don't want to be with. The reason why these things are happening are to teach you something that you're not aware of. Now, as you already know, a learned behavior that is constantly reinforced but expecting an outcome differently, that's nothing but insanity. So, why won't you have the courage to do something different? Why do you not think that you're not worth it? Come on. Who told you that you don't deserve to be loved and cherished and respected? Who told you that? Really, think about it. Who was the person? Look back in your mind. Just said, you're this and you're that. Unfortunately, those things were the things that were the templates on the way you think. Do you realize there are so many people walking around with hidden abandonment issues from their childhood, and they think that, well, you know what, because I don't want to risk being alone, I'm going to put up with someone that is not going to help me grow. And they settle. They settle. Why? Why? Because society doesn't want you to grow individually. You know how it is. There's strength in numbers. Well, guess what? What if that group is not good for you? Oh, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to look at the stuff that might seem hard. But think of it this way. Why would you want your life to be easy anyway? Come on. Stop doing that. My queens, my beloved queens, how you doing? How you doing? You doing all right? If you hear anything that I've said, or you found anything that I've conveyed which comes from Holy Spirit in any of my videos, just know this. Society has done everything in its power to change the way you think. You've been under attack since Eve. Why? Because you have a nurturing spirit. That's why you were deemed woman. You're the anchor. That's why you think all the time. You can't cut that brain off no matter how hard you try. And that's why when things are not in order, you come off like this. Haven't you realized the moment that you have the courage to look within yourself, look within your heart, have the courage to breathe? let me tell you something. Not to segue off of my point. For those that are we want to listen to some good wisdom. For those who know the group Floetry, Marsha Ambrosia, she's doing her thing, and Natalie Stewart is doing hers. Natalie Stewart's got 3 albums out now. I highly recommend you can go right up here, put her name in, listen to this song called Breathe. But the path she chose to who she is now is not the person she once was, because she made a conscious decision to not put her love for herself for ransom. She decided to take the road unwalked. So in turn, she lost some friendships. She lost, she went through some things, but she doesn't regret defining who she is. See, not to make light of it, my queens, I'm gonna keep telling you. As long as you keep looking at those magazines, as long as you keep watching what's on those TV shows, and not looking what's inside you, do you realize this goes for men and women? To grow, you gotta let things go. You have to. So sometimes you gotta close some doors. You do. But guess what? Because doors are closed don't mean they're always locked. Sometimes life will put you in positions which 9 times out of 10 were self-inflicted to isolate you from your environment. Now think about it. Why you think, if you think for 1 second that your higher power, known as my Lord Jesus Christ, does not love you, why do you think that He delivered you from that bad situation that you had to deal with? Yeah, the ones that you got emotional scars about. Maybe, unfortunately, it was a physical situation. Maybe it was a financial situation. And you had to take some losses. But haven't you noticed every time that those things happen, 2 things occurred? Number 1, it was a willful choice because you walked into it. No one had to strong arm you. You chose it. We have free will. But guess what? No matter how hard you try to pull and push and stand your ground, you always were brought on the outside to look back. That's not by coincidence. That was divine intervention. You were being protected the whole time. See, that devil will use your fears, will use your ego and your pride to deceive you. And he's so bold with it, he will deliver whatever that situation is that will titillate you by vision, that will stimulate you by hearing, but won't have no connection here. Why? Because he knows. He's like God. He knows what you think and what you don't. He knows what's good for you and what's not. But you got to turn around and discern. If you turn around and go from A, B, C, D, and they all have a common denominator, which the common denominator is you, because you're in the midst of it, but it also leaves you one step a little broken. Come on. That tells me one thing. Number one, you really need to feel emotionally safe. You just want to be loved. You want to feel grounded. But guess what? All those things are achievable. Are achievable here. It's found here. I had somebody tell me that I was being a little brash when I made the comment about there are some people that don't deserve to hear you breathe. And so, well, why would you say something like that? That was being selfish. No, it's called protecting yourself. Just like there is, I like to believe there's a lot of good people out here. Guess what? Do you not think that there's some people that are just naturally predatory? Just downright evil? That's why misery loves company. That's why it is what it is. The light, the darkness. And then there's you. In the midst of it, trying to figure out, well, it look good, sound good, but why does it hurt? You can't get caught up on the superficial. You can't get caught up in the material, excuse me. You can't. So many people fall prey by what they see. To get caught up, get hooked, only to be left to pick the pieces up. So I'm going to say this to those people. Be grateful. Be humble. Be truthful to yourself. So you're in a place of vulnerability because you got to pick up the pieces. But guess what? Now you get to pick those pieces up and look at them and say, you know what, I don't need this. I need to hold on to this. This has some value. This has some worth. This defines who I am. And then you might pick a piece up and say, I need to, oh hell no, I need to take this outside. I don't need nothing. That's okay. That's okay. Because you're not meant to be walking around like a punching bag. You're not supposed to walk around like an emotional speed bag, somebody just to tear you down. You can do bad by yourself, but no one can do anything to you unless you allow it. You talking to a brother, you looking at a brother that, I'm telling y'all, I suffered from low self-esteem half my life. I did. It started from my childhood. Yes, but the only thing that I'm so proud of is the devil couldn't get my heart. He couldn't turn me. He couldn't flip me into what he wanted me to do. Because I'm going to tell you what. Trust and believe when I say this. It's not hard being evil. Everybody has that in us. And I knew that if I went down a road, oh, I'd be dead. Easy. Or life behind bars. Life altered. But you know what? Let me throw this disclaimer out. Even if you had been incarcerated, your life ain't over. It's not. Now, granted, depending on what got you incarcerated, you know, you got to sow those seeds. But guess what? Every day you can change and work on yourself. But through it all, you got to love yourself. You got to love who you are. Look, you're looking at a cat. I love Youre. That brother, he's got a big heart. He's compassionate. I know what empathy is. I know what discernment is, because that's how I navigate my life. I put God first in everything I do. So the trade-off by discerning is, guess what? I don't have connections with people that I should. And yeah, I'm going to tell you what, this shit hurt, excuse my French. Because I had to see and understand between what a want was and a need. I need to come into my purpose. You know, sometimes your life, when you think it's about you, it's not. And the moment that you trust your higher power, alone is my Lord Jesus Christ. But I'm humbled to know He is one of many names. When you put Him first, He will open doors. He will reveal things that may have been there the whole time, but you just, in that frame of mind that you had, you couldn't see it. You couldn't. Why? Goes back to like-mindedness. Now, so really, don't you deserve to be happy? Come on now. Come on. When's the last time you told yourself you loved you? You're grateful to be alive. Remember, when you opened your eyes, it was your higher power that carried you through the night. You didn't have to wake up. You might be mad and upset with yourself because your money is not where you wish it to be. But guess what? Have the courage to come up with a game plan so it will eventually come into fruition. You know how I always talk about the field. Sometimes you got to go out there to that field and make sure that there's no rocks and debris that's hidden underneath before you even plant the first seed. That's what cultivating is all about. It's a process. It's a process. You got to respect the process. You're not going to turn around, go to sleep one night, wake up, and then all your dreams are reality. It don't work that way. I'm going to tell you why it don't work that way. Because think of it this way. If you had the ability to wake up into your dreams, do you realize how quickly you would squander it? Because emotionally you're not ready for it. So on the flip side, why would you expect your higher power, I know Him as my Lord Jesus Christ, to give you your blessings to watch you fail? Why do you think He would do that? He loves you too much. But I know sometimes we think that because things don't play out like we envision it or desire it to be, we're being punished. No, you're not. You're being protected. Because guess what? We don't know what's in the hearts of men. And I'm talking about as human beings. Excuse me, y'all. Can I get some coffee? Can I get some coffee? Please? Be right back. Alright, thank you. And speaking of thank you, I want to thank each and every one of you for the thumbs ups, those who felt to empower themselves to reach out that may be going through things. I'm gonna keep throwing this out. The worst thing you can do, or the worst thing that will ever come from me, for those who are seeking advice, is you're going to get unbiased advice and a prayer. That's the worst thing, because there's no gain. There's no gain on my end. But I would like to believe that we as a people can fellowship to a degree when it comes to trying to grow individually. Now let me throw this in reverse, as I was saying before. So I'm going to throw this disclaimer out, because I'm going to say some things that y'all might find offensive, but sometimes you got to say what you need to say to reach the intended ear, okay? My heart is in the right place, okay? So, it's holidays coming up right around the corner. And some of y'all don't even have a clue if you're going to celebrate it with yourself or with someone else. And you're contemplating, well, if I go there, it's going to play out the same time, the same way. The whole is going to be a bunch of drama. I don't know if I want to do that. And then you're looking at it as, well, I can do the route like everybody else does, and just hit up everybody's houses, and therefore I ain't got to cook, and just make sure I got Rubbermaid in the back of the ride. You can do that too. Or you can take a moment, and if you don't want to do a turkey, don't want to do ham if you're not feeling that. Why don't you take Thanksgiving and make your most favorite dish you like eating for yourself? I don't care, whatever your favorite dish is, with the dessert and the side, and take that day as the day to celebrate your life. Give thanks to your life. Because I'm here to tell y'all, man, don't get caught up in the notion, because there's a lot of people that are single, and there's a lot of people that should be single because they're not ready to be in relationships, because they don't have a relationship with themselves. So this might be you. You might be in a season where all you do is attract people that just want to sleep with you, but they don't want to grow with you. And anytime you scratch your head and you say, this don't seem right, you get into some drama. So now you got to make a decision to keep the drama at bay, or you respect yourself. Or worse, you end up being the turkey because you know that somebody else is going to fund that dinner, and they know that you're the dessert. That won't be the only one that's going to get ate. Excuse my French. I didn't mean it that way. I really didn't. But you know what I'm saying. Stop compromising your heart just because you got people around you, because you're afraid that if you don't run with a certain group, you're gonna be left out. Nah, don't trip on that. Don't trip on it, because I'm gonna tell you what. You can't put a price on silence. You can't. I know somebody saying, why, Joe? You just saying that? You saying that because that's you? Hell no. Let me tell you something. Number one, your boy can cook. Yes, I can cook. I give praise to my mom. Mom, if you've seen this video, I love you. Yeah, but my mom taught me when I was 10 years old. She told me two things that were very influential in my life when I was younger. She said, Gerald, you're not guaranteed to have a wife, but you are required to wash your clothes and feed yourself. And even then I knew that, no, you're right. Now, who doesn't want companionship? Who doesn't? Everybody wants to have companionship, but at what cost? You mean the only way I can deal with you is I gotta accept you not truly respecting who I am as a man, as a human? Or I gotta worry about you going upside my head, or you strong-arming me? Hell, where you lay your head is where your rest should be found, but it should validate the same energy that is found in your heart. So if you're in drama right now, number one, you can't fool yourself. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool the person that looks back at you in the mirror. And the question should be asked, why? Why? Why do you do it? My queens, don't you realize you are the wildflowers on the earth? Do you not realize that you will not find two of the same flowers look identical? But guess what? You're beautiful in your own right. But until you decide to claim who you are, you gotta ask who you represent. Are you representing like that the woman that look, you know what I'm saying? You trying to be like her? Or you trying to be like you? You know, Diana Ross said it best in the theme song Mahogany. Do you know? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Do you know? And that movie had a lot of messages here. It's a classic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Especially you, my queens, check it out. But your most purest relationship you're going to ever have is going to be with yourself. Hopefully, directed by your higher power first. Because I'm going to tell you what. Do you actually think? Now, you got to be honest with yourself. Look at what your mindset is right now. Some of you may be thinking, I'm talking to you, my kings, too. You might say, well, you know what? She gotta look like this. I want the one to look like that and have this and have that. There's nothing wrong with having those affirmations. But they'll never manifest unless they come from you first. Like-minded attracts like-minded. You can't be turning around acting like Buster Brown expecting you're going to get someone that you don't deserve. That's real talk. If you're turning around and basing your relationships or your connections from a carnal sense, or what I mean by sight, man, she's beautiful. Man, she got a and then you frustrated because she treats you like crap. Number one, you didn't discern that. Oh, you discerned it. Not with this. Definitely not with this. And you're surprised why your reality is the way it is. My kings, because you are kings. You need to stop accepting bad behavior from anybody, starting with yourself first. Have the courage to take another route, my brothers. Fall back in love with yourself. And if your environment does not foster growth, making you the best you can be, I don't care how long it will take you. As long as you commit to that, you know what will happen out of that? Number one, you're going to be protected, because the people that don't share that same insight ain't going to have nothing to do with you. They won't. They won't get you. They won't. They won't. And that's probably why you don't hear from the people you want to hear from now. Because they probably think you're crazy. You ain't crazy. You're not. They just never, they didn't deserve to have access to your life. Now here's a kicker about that. And I'm going to say this with all sincerity. Everyone has the ability to change. That's the foundation of free will. Sure, not to make light, you may have screwed a whole lot of people over. But was it worth the season that you're going through now? Or the loss you may have had to take? Come on now. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Shame the devil and tell the truth. You ain't got to tell the truth to nobody else. It would be preferred, but tell the truth to yourself. And I guarantee you, when you decide to be honest with yourself, because look, I know I joke about it sometimes, but your reflection, yes, that beautiful person, that handsome man, is the keeper of your secrets, because you do it behind closed doors and you think no one sees it. Don't you realize you just put a stopwatch on your life? Because eventually it's going to come out. Trust me when I tell you, it's going to come out. Forgive yourself. Forgive those that have hurt you. Forgive those who you've hurt. Because what's going to happen is those people that should have never been in your life, you will realize that they were soul ties. They were strongholds. And they saw you as prey. Talk about synchronicity. Boy. Y'all don't realize that 2015 is your breakout year. That's right. I'm talking to you. That's going to be the you that has been long overdue. You're going to be walking with the love and courage that was found inside will be released. And guess what? The people in the chief seats are going to be like, what? Who is this? But guess what? It doesn't give you permission to have a vengeful heart. That's why God said it best. Vengeance is mine. To some, they may look at it as karma. Some may even water it down and call it fate. But I'm a firm believer that God is the ultimate comedian. That's how He is. He'll put the brakes on something until you submit, because His will shall be done, even if it takes your life essence for it to come to pass. Because you're not promised tomorrow. But see, society don't care about you. Never did, never will. Because society looks at us as sheep. All we gotta do is get a puppet out there, get somebody of influence, and get them to do whatever, and the masses will emulate. Come on, my queens. You know I'm telling the truth. You get somebody out there on TV and they change their hair up, you run right back out there and do the same thing. You may be saying, well, Gerald, maybe I like the hairstyle. Well, if you like the hairstyle, wouldn't you have had it originally? And that's what amazes me, because some of you are so have such a beautiful spirit, but you're afraid of yourself. So you water yourself down. You dumb yourself down to feel accepted. Let me flip it on this way. If you gotta dumb down your perception to feel accepted in a certain peer group, that's not the group you were supposed to have been with. Because the people that you're supposed to be with will also have the same mentality as you. They'll be growing. These people are very radical when it comes to their life. They're not going to allow things to... Now, they're going to walk in a position of humility, but they're not going to compromise themselves just to have you in their life either. They're not. No. For what? They love themselves. They love themselves. And my queens and my kings, as I tell you this, you need to take this ideology out of your mind. No human being has the ability to complete you. They don't. All they do is validate the state of mind that you hold. Think about it. Think about for those who've been in relationships. What was your mindset at that time when you met them? Does it exist now? And what was the positives out of that? If there were more negatives than positives, you wasn't supposed to have been there. You weren't. Take accountability for your life. Take accountability and own your decisions. You know what? It's not easy sometimes to admit, yeah, you know what, I messed up. I felt very vulnerable and I got exploited. That's why so many women use the mindset of all men are dogs. Which is funny, because you don't know all men. And if you did, why would you want to? But more importantly, you will not. With that sentence, you have to also say, I take accountability for the people I allow in my life. Come on now. Because he may satisfy you behind closed doors. Is it enriching in your spirit? You realize how many people stay with people because of intimacy, sexually? And they're so insecure, they say, well, you know what? She treats me like dirt, but her sex is on the bomb. God forbid I live my life without her and someone else attracts her. But you're miserable. You're miserable. And newsflash for my young folks. Less is more. And you'll come to see, as you invest in yourself, you will learn things about yourself that you knew nothing about, especially when it comes to your sexuality. And the reason for that is because, yes, we are supposed to abstain. That's what he asked for. And I know that's a hard task. I know. You're human. But guess what? The reason why that was prescribed is because the one, that woman, or that man is going to smooth all jagged edges. They're going to satisfy you beyond your wildest dreams. That's why they're the one. So stop treating your body like I'm not trying to make life. Stop treating your body, convincing yourself you got to treat your body like you're going to the grocery store. Okay, I'll try this one right here, and I got a coupon for that one, and you going through life, and all these people are basically benefiting off of your choices. Then what happens? What happens? They don't stick around because they had no intentions on doing that. They didn't. But no one's going to be 100. Well, you got some that have the audacity to say, well, you know what? I'm going to keep it 100. Hey, what's going on, Ma? How you doing? You going to let me hit that? Those people are really delusional. They are. And they don't respect themselves. And more or less, you got to look at it like this. Talk about synchronicity. If they're easy to pursue you, they pursue anybody because they don't respect themselves. And you're just a notch on the headboard. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, my queens. Why you think God gave you virtue? Why you think He gave you nourishment? Come on. Do you realize you possess the essence of the fountain of youth? That's the benefit of having intimacy with a loving spiritual mate. Haven't you noticed that when you look at a person that's in a fruitful relationship, they look younger? Think about it. So stop accepting crumbs from those who do not deserve to hear your breath. Don't worry about that. They don't want to act right. Go to hell. Get the hell on. No matter what, get up out of there. Because you're doing time in your mind. You're doing time. The worst thing you could do is share a bed with somebody that you don't love. Think about it. For my young folks, learn from the wisdom of others. Stop running through your life thinking that, well, the sooner I get older and do grown-up things, I can have my life the way I want. No, it don't work that way. And because you having sex don't make you grown. It don't. And unfortunately, we live in a society where predators are very prominent. Why do you think sugar daddies exist? Why do you think cougars exist? I'll tell you why. Because somebody did that same thing to them. Or they may have been raised in an environment where daddy never got married. He had all these women. Or mommy had a lot of this Uncle Bill. Come on now. Stop doing that. Come on now. Stop. Because the worst thing you want to do is be in your 50s. And you got to do kegels. Yeah, I said it. Come on now. The body is a temple. Nobody can do that for you. You got to do that. Get your mind right by getting your heart right. And when you get your heart right, you'll have the courage to do the things not only that you didn't know that you're capable of doing, but you're able to embrace the journey that comes with it through discernment. So stop settling. Stop settling for bad behavior and stop condoning thinking that, well, you know what, if I act assertive, you know what being assertive does? It sends out a message to whoever is conveyed that you're fragile. Because a person that knows who they are will always speak their truth. They will. Because that's who they are. That's who they are. So don't think that you are put on this planet to suffer. Don't think for 1 second that you're supposed to be sitting in your place right now, and you stewing over what somebody else did to you, cussing them out in your mind. I can't believe he cheated on me and he left me. Be grateful, because basically they just told you they didn't have the caliber to do the job, which means to have you for life. You know how precious your life is? Come on now. I wish somebody would do that crap. I'll be so gone. So gone. But I'm not going to make life. And let me throw this disclaimer out. For those who may have been gone, who have gone through betrayal. You're going through betrayal, right? Hopefully you've allowed yourself to heal. And the healing process don't have a stopwatch. You take all the darn time you need to get you right. You're going to spend a lot of time in your mind. Sometimes you're going to have things come up from your past that may cause an emotion to resonate. You embrace it. Embrace whatever's going on. If you got to go and scream in your pillow, or you got to drive somewhere and go and yell, or you got to cry. You know what the biggest conception that society has conveyed on man is? The fact that to be alienated from your emotional self. Your emotional self is tied to your spiritual self. So how can you know your self-worth and value if you don't even embrace the God-given emotions that God gave you that makes you you? Did you hear what I said? You can't be you without embracing the emotions that define who you are. That sets you apart from the next person standing from. I'm seriously. Think about it. It's your emotions that are your blueprint that make your personality. It also defines your decision making too. Come on now. That's why money doesn't make happiness. All it does is give access. But if you're not emotionally sound, you're going to squander that too. Now, I didn't talk longer than I wanted to, but hey, it's all good. So, don't trip if you're alone. Don't trip. Don't. Thank God that you're by yourself. Because this is an opportunity now that you can get real with yourself, filter through your life what you need, what you don't need. When's the last time you went through your belongings and said, you know what? I can donate this. I don't need to hold on to that because it has an emotional attachment. Come on now. Purge. You know, that's what feng shui is all about. Come on. Don't trip. Don't. But I will throw my optimistic spin, and I'm going to run this down. Because God shuts the door, it doesn't mean it's locked. But if it is shut, maybe, just maybe, that's a sign that you need to focus on yourself. And if it's divinely meant, guess what? You'll see it again. You will. Talk about synchronicity in the back. See? So, thank you for each and every one. I didn't mean I sound all dry and stuff. I know, I need to take a shower. I know. I look crazy. Looking like Kunta Kinte's brother. That's what a working man does. That's what I do. Plus, I'm in school. You know, you guys don't realize it, but when the work is done, you're looking at Dr. Gerald Davis, psychologist. So then I really start doing my work because that's my purpose. But needless to say, I haven't decided if I was going to reach out on Thanksgiving Day. And yes, I am cooking. Yes, sir. Come on now. Pick my turkey up today. But whatever you decide to do, make sure that you fall in love with who you are. Tell yourself that you're proud of who you are. Tell yourself you love you and the things that make you, and have the courage to look at the things that don't work and the things that need to change, even if it means being by yourself. People think that because you're by yourself, you're a leopard or something. Come on now. You realize how much money you save? Come on now. Be methodical with your dreams. Always speak your affirmations so that they can manifest through the Holy Spirit. And trust when I say this. When the work is done, you will have all the validation you need. All those people will see someone made new, and they will do one or two things. Give praise, because you're a living example of what God does, because He changes things. Or, and I hate to say this, come to realize that you were the exception of the rule, and they made a mischoice. They made a mistake. But anyway, that's not your walk and that's not your burden. Your responsibility is to love you and always place God first in everything you do. And as I always say, God is praying for you. You know I am. And for that, I see your worth. And that helps me discern I gotta get in the shower. I would love to hear from each and everybody. Like, unlike, and subscribe. You guys don't even realize 2015 is going to be your breakout year. Just right now, it's about the work. And have the courage to say goodbye to those that are holding you back from you. Love to hear from you guys. Stay blessed. Stay protected. And of course, stay you.